visionary, revolutionary. I'm a visionary, revolutionary.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Mindful Marks podcast. It's been a long one. It's been a long time coming, but we are back. I'm your host, Camellia Salamander, and I'm here with my McMarvelous co-host, KB the Mark.
Normally I would get on here and curse, but this is a sad occasion. It's not
It
even worth it.
very much so. It is very sad, especially for those who grew up in the generation of us, and we just seen our childhood come to an end yesterday, and it was a good moment, bittersweet. We knew this time was going to come, but who knew it was going to come so damn fast? Like 20 years went by fast.
Well, I'm in my 30s now, so I think back to what them parents used to say. Remember when you start high school and they tell you high school gonna fly by? You don't think so? It's gonna fly by. You start off as a freshman, you blink, you're a senior. You blink again, you walking across the stage.
Yes, yes, yes. Crazy moment, dreadful moment as well. As the matches was just going on, they kept counting down to the moment. Oh man! But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. We got the first match. It was Cody Rhodes versus Obafemi. Uh, Personal opinion. Going into this, I thought Oba was just gonna demolish him. He held his own to a point until we got what I would consider a finish that nobody saw would come out of all the possible outcomes. Everybody was saying on X and everything. This ending was an ending, and I don't even think nobody had this in their head. Like if a running was going to happen, I was thinking it was going to be Ricky Saint saving Cody Rhodes because he's just getting demolished out there. Never did I. Well, I won't say never because he has been beefing with Cody Rhodes, but in a moment like this, I thought they were just gonna let it roll. Highly
No.
disappointed though.
Oh yes, definitely. This outside of the Cena match, this is what I was looking forward to. Definitely disappointed. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had that thought of a disqualification running by Drew McIntyre at about 6:30 when I just started running through every scenario. But never in my wildest dreams that I think they would actually go through with it. Especially when the match was actually getting good. But this shows me that Oba is ready for the main roster. I figured that out on Friday when he went toe to toe with Cody Rhodes in a promo, and he actually stood his ground. I said, "Oh, you like that? You just might be ready for the main roster." But my bigger gripe. We both know this should have been Cody Rhodes versus Ricky Sainz. You know this. I know this. I'm not going to play that game today, but this should have been Cody Rhodes versus Ricky Sainz.
I feel like the more marquee matchups is what we saw, but just with the failed ending to that. But speaking of the failed ending, he didn't back down. He pulled Drew McIntyre up, got in his face, and after Cody got up and hit the Cody cutter, he manhandled Drew McIntyre. So I mean, I think that's definitely showed that Obafemi is like, if not like done, like he like a steak. Like you can eat a steak rare, medium well, well done. He's like well done. He's ready for the main roster.
No, honestly, I look on NXT on Tuesdays, and I just when I look at Oba, I'm like, you were really ready when you beat Trick the first time. That's when you were ready. But they wanted to make sure that you could talk. Well, you proved to them that you can talk. So what are we doing? And then we talk a lot about wrestling off camera, and I can go back to when we were talking about Javon Evans, who will be seen later on. And I said, what's the point? So then they pulled what they pulled on Tuesday, with him rushing his opportunity, and he loses again. So it's like, are y'all gonna crown him or what? Or because what I don't want to happen is for Obafemi to be sitting in NXT until Stand and Deliver when they decide to crown Javon Evans. It's like he's main roster ready. He's Royal Rumble ready. Put him in there. Put him in there at number 3 and let him go to like the entrant number 27. He can get put out around that time. Give him a huge showing at the Rumble. He definitely needs it. This is a future. Can I be honest? I I see as long as Obafemi continues on the trajectory that he's going, this could easily be a 4, 5, 6-time world champion. Easily.
Mhm. Now, your thoughts on Soruka versus Bailey?
I'm not a Soul Ruka fan, and I will take all of the heat for it. I'm just not a fan. I just don't see what everybody sees. With that being said, she looked good against Bailey, but this just didn't do it for me, and I'm kind of waiting for the Zarya heel turn. It's coming, but it's just like Soul Ruka just doesn't do it for me. But she looked good in this. She looked really
Uh,
good. And I am glad she got the win though. The Soul Snatcher is an amazing finish. You know how I feel about it. I just hope that she never gets hurt doing it because it's definitely a move where if it goes wrong, it can go wrong. So
it takes a lot of impact on her body as well.
I mean, you're basically doing what a flipping cutter, flipping RKO.
Yeah,
She
but
flips
so she
into it.
taking most of the damage on that because of the way she flipping her body landed like on her body.
All I'm saying.
But I mean that match it was cool. Great the perfect choice for the winner. Um my only complaint with that is the finish. I didn't like the soul the soul snatcher. I didn't like the way it ended when she hit it and then Bailey was basically hanging out the ring and then she took the time trying to drag her back in so she could pin her and then it came to a roll up and then she rolled her up and then they got the 1, 2, 3. I didn't like that. If you go that far, I think you should have it should have ran on a little bit more. Maybe do another sequence of moves and then end it and stuff. I didn't like the roll up finish after hitting the finisher.
It felt real WWE 2K25, didn't it?
Yeah,
Like
I see what you mean by that.
you hit your big move. They're standing there. You're low stamina. You gotta struggle to get them in. Then they get out of stunned, and then they just hit the possum pin, and they just go back and forth. I mean, I get it. I get it. I would want to know what was Triple H's mentality on the matchmaking of those two. Like there were a lot of women on the roster that could go against Soul Ruka, and that loss doesn't look. I don't think it looks bad, but if we're sitting here talking about Bailey, one of the greatest of all time, Bailey losing to a rookie, and maybe this furthers her storyline where she goes deranged, but uh, I don't. I'm kind of in the middle. I will let it play out, but I just don't see what this does for Bailey more so I see what it does for Soul Ruka. I mean, what is Soul Ruka going to be in the Rumble? Is Bailey going to get her comeuppance, or is she going to go down to NXT and get her comeuppance there? It just seems like You had to give a finish because you didn't give a finish in the Obafemi one. You know, so you had to do a finish. But I
This,
don't know. I'm in the middle.
this whole show was presented with the new generations versus the current, the future versus the present. And everybody who was booked on this card went up against somebody who they exactly should have. And a rookie like Sol Ruka going up against a vet on the main roster who can honestly, let's be honest, who could take a loss and not really do any damage to her is Bailey. That's the safest option. Either her or Natalia.
I was thinking, what a great debut that would a great re-debut for this new Natalia character. You know
Hmm.
what about a Ivy Nile? You know what about a
But
Zelina Vega?
I mean, but Ivy now, not really. I would still consider her more on the new side. Like when you doing like the present is more like somebody who's like they been there established for a while. Like Bailey's like she been there established for a while. Like she a vet.
Okay, how about a
So like
returning Liv? How about a Liv Morgan?
I mean you can say that, but I still kind of look at her at the same boat. Like
AJ
she's
Lee.
still kind of too new. But I mean that could happen. But I mean she just turned. She just returned.
I mean,
Honestly,
she's
if she
AJ Lee is
returned,
bulletproof. She's bulletproof.
yeah, but she's not gonna take the loss. You gotta think of somebody who's gonna take that loss without it really affecting them in the long run.
I mean, is Lyra Val? I'm gonna know because no, because you said yeah, you're right because it was presented as old versus new. I mean,
Hmm. So this is
Nikki
not really
Bella,
that.
she's right there. Nikki Bella.
I mean, what have we been seeing on X for the last couple weeks? If she lost to Soul Ruka, we gonna see that shit way more.
It doesn't
Bailey or
matter.
Natalia was the safest option in this scenario.
Charlotte Flair.
No,
It's an exhibition match. It doesn't matter.
she no. If Charlotte take a L, nah. It just don't fit.
I mean, to me, Bailey doesn't fit, but you know, I digress. I'm just confused, like you are, for one, for the finish, and two, where does Bailey go from here? Because I'm not a fan of this multi personalities gimmick that she's doing. Not a fan.
I mean, the answer is written right there. Turning heel. Honestly, let's be honest. When Bailey first turned heel, that was her best work. When she
Of
first
course.
came with the theme song change and she cut her hair, that was her best work. With the ding dong hello shit, that was her best work. Her being heel was her best work. We got damage control because of it. And say what you want about damage control, but they was running stuff.
No, honestly, if it played out the way that it was supposed to play out, we would have gotten a damage control versus toxic attraction rivalry, and that probably would have blew the roof off the
Yeah,
place.
that would have been good.
Yeah. More for Bailey is my slogan, my hashtag. More for
I
Bailey.
I agree. I agree with that. She do deserve more. I totally agree. Follow up, we got the tag match, the only match where the president won. Well, you could say Cody won because of the disqualification, but honestly, a fair 1, 2, 3. This is the only match where the president had actually won, and this match, hey, this was a good ass match. This is one of the best tag matches I've seen in the last couple months.
You
Javon
never
Evans,
lied.
Leon Slater. Hey, them young dogs, them young boys, hey, they showing what they could do. If that's not a case so far for what you saw, if that's not a case for you to tune in, on Tuesdays to watch NXT. I
And
don't know what else.
Thursdays. And Thursdays.
Well, yeah, Thursdays to watch TNA. I don't know what else will be.
They they had me at the very beginning with the Blitz. I was honestly thinking because what this was for the titles, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I think all this was just exhibitions.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me. I swore it was for the title, but even if it was or if it wasn't, they had me. I was sitting here thinking they're really gonna give it to him. The young OG is like that. Leon Slater is like that. Let me figure out. Let me figure out that Thursdays might be better than Wednesdays. Let me figure that out.
And we had a discussion about this. I told you. I think honestly the first 3 episodes might give them a run for their money. Only because for the most part, people's gonna be so curious on what they're gonna show.
Listen, you give me Nick Nemeth, you give me Leon Slater, you give me the influx of Ruts from NXT and Santino Marella and his son-in-law Stacks. Thursday sound all right to me.
But before we move on, we can't leave without addressing the elephant in the room. AJ Styles, quote unquote, botch. Personally,
He slipped on the ropes.
yeah. And personally, I don't consider that a botch. Although a botch is a mess up, I consider more of a botch, and we've seen this plenty of times, like where you can read the wrestlers' lips clear as day. They didn't hide from the camera, or they shout so loud, like a John Cena, and what Becky Lynch be doing is shouting the next move, and you can hear it. I consider that as botches, or you're doing a move like you're doing a drop kick, and I'm so far away from you where it's obvious it didn't connect, but I still choose to sell it. I think of those as botches. What Dragon Lee did, um, what was that Monday? This past Monday, when he tried to lift, well, who was it, Ivar up? Dragon Lee is like 135, 140. He's a buck and some change. It makes sense for him to struggle trying to pick up a 300-pound man, and the fact that he failed doing it and stuff, people calling that a botch. That's not necessarily a botch. Like botches, aura, uh buried, all of those are starting to become words that's being overused. Like people are forgetting the true definition to it. There's a difference between a mistake and a botch. For people who wrestled, and I would say even consider like the true diehard wrestling fans, they know that the ropes are slippery. You're gonna make mistakes. We seen people get eliminated from the Royal Rumble when they way before they were supposed to because they was on the ropes and the ropes were slippery. They slipped out. We seen people fall from the ropes and stuff because it was slippery. We seen this same maneuver from AJ Styles multiple times of him slipping on the ropes and stuff. It's just an accident that's gonna happen. The thing about it is, I like how they continue on and stuff. They didn't like, oh, let's roll that back and play it again. I like it reminded me of the moment where Randy Orton, Chris Jericho. I forgot who he had, but he had somebody in the roster. Jericho. Randy Orton went to go try to RKO him, but he slipped and didn't grab him, and but Jericho didn't sell it and stuff. Like that's not really a box. That's a mistake. Boom, boom, boom. It's just to me. I just think certain words just get overused, and it's honestly it's a huge difference between a mistake and a botch and stuff. If I'm slamming you on the table and the table don't break, yes, that's a botch. That's not a mistake. That's a botch. If you know certain things like the things with Jay Uso and stuff where they with him and Logan Paul, where it's like Logan Paul thought he was gonna go for a Samoan drop and Jay had something else on mind, shit like that. That's not a mistake. That's you can consider that a botch and stuff. A botch thin line, but I would more say that's miscommunication, but that's a botch. But honestly, it just certain shit just get overused and stuff, and they take a moment like that that's very little that was like 3 5 seconds long, and they like make it over complicated than what it needs to be. It was a mistake. He hopped on the ropes, he slipped, he fell. They went on to the next spot. It's over. They're making a big deal about a 3 second slip up.
I would say, if anything, let's give credit to Leon Slater to immediately go to the next spot. He didn't hesitate. He went straight to the next spot and got himself ready. That is wisdom beyond his years. Amazing work from Leon Slater. And yeah, I do agree with what you said. Botches and burial and a lot of these words, aura. That's another one that you like to say, aura. And these words is just getting thrown around without people actually knowing what they mean. Like, we've seen botches. That's the thing about the IWC. You've seen botches. We've all seen botches. They just happen. And that's the one thing about this wrestling stuff that I never understood. It's like we know everything that goes into it. So why are you pointing out when somebody messes up? Do you want it to look like it's live combat? Because live combat doesn't, it has its mistakes. You go one way, your opponent outsmarts you, and boom, it goes another way. That's what I never understood. Do you want this stuff to look, because the big thing is, oh, we don't want it to look choreographed. Okay, cool. But then when some stuff happens, don't sit here and say, oh, that's a botch. Well, no, you don't want you want this stuff to look real. You can't have it both ways. You know? You can't have it both ways. It's either one or the other. And that's just what it boils down to. You either want this stuff to look so choreographed that it doesn't pique your interest, or you want stuff to happen. And if you want that stuff to happen, just don't be sitting here talking about it after it happens. Mistakes happen.
Exactly, exactly. But again, it's an IWC we talking to, and we know how stubborn the IWC is, and we know how much everybody has to be right in their own way. So at the end of the day, arguing about this is just arguing with a wall.
That part is true.
And you know, speaking of disagreeing with the IWC and every just basically everything that I've been seeing from yesterday to this morning, Gunther versus John Cena. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. That's summarized this whole matchup. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. Damn if John Cena wins, damn if you don't. I remember when they first announced the tournament and Gunther was named, everybody was rooting for Gunther. And then as soon as it got down to like the final four, somehow, some way, nobody wanted Gunther to advance. I hate the switch up that the IWC always puts on. I really hate the switch up. Just like I had pointed out a few weeks ago, everybody on this hate train of Jay Uso. A few weeks ago, I went back to a post about last year when he won the Royal Rumble and when he first got his first singles championship. And all of these main accounts that we see in the IWC that's that's pushing this narrative, and the main ones that we always see and engage with, those are the same ones that was praising Triple H, giving him Booker of the Year, and fucking telling Triple H that this is the best thing that he did. Jay deserve it, da da da, all this stuff. He the future. And then 3 months come, all he do is yeet. He yeet. He just an entrance. He botched. All this other stuff like that. Like the switch up is so goddamn. It happens so often. It's just so crazy. Like I could take it back to further when they wanted the "We Want Cody" chants and all that shit, and then You know, they gave you exactly what you asked for, and then within a month of his championship reign, y'all already turning on him. Talk about y'all wish y'all would have kept Roman. Oh, we wish we would have got the Roman Rock match. Like, if y'all don't shut the fuck up, honestly, people so goddamn mad about this match. It was gonna be dumb if John Cena won. It honestly, what do he need? He don't need to win it. The premise of this shit was to put the future in line. You wanted to spotlight the future. He said that himself. He wanted to put a spotlight on the future. And that's exactly what he did. Y'all mad because he tapped out. Okay. If he would have fainted, y'all would have still been mad. If he would have got pinned, y'all would have still been mad. He went out on the way on his terms. He didn't give up, regardless of him tapping out. We seen that he fought. He fought. He showed glimpse of Super Cena. He fought. It came to the realization that he realized I'm not getting out this shit. And that came where he hit that last AA and Gunther got back up, put him back in the chokehold, gave him elbows, put him back in the chokehold. That's what he realized it's a wrap. That's why he gave a smile like GG's and tapped out. But instead, y'all want to show clips of fucking Sting talking about this is how you put over a wrestler, a legend and stuff. Like I said, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Sting damn near won every fucking match that he had in AEW. If John Cena would have did that for these last dates for this last year that he did, and he would have won every matchup he did, y'all would have still been complaining about it, talking about he's not putting over younger stars. It's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. The difference is when y'all try to compare Sting retirement to John Cena's retirement, Sting has accomplished things for over 20 longer than John Cena. He has legacies in multiple promotions. WCW, TNA, AEW, and I mean you could count WWE, but that shit was very brief. But still, he still have legacies and Hall of Fame legacies, honestly, in those three companies that he made a change to. So it made sense for him to be put on that pedestal that AEW put him on because of his fucking legacy. Meanwhile, John Cena stayed loyal to one company and he went out the way he wanted to go out. He wanted to put out the next star. Why can't y'all see that? Why y'all as a IWC made this situation in this moment about yourselves? Y'all made it about yourselves. Y'all chanted bullshit at the end of the match. Y'all would have chanted bullshit at the end if you would have won. Y'all would have chanted it. Y'all made it about yourself. Y'all do this at every moment. It doesn't matter. Nikki Bella. Y'all, I could sworn everybody was on the same page that they didn't want to see Nikki. I could have sworn everybody was on the same page that she's not really that cracked up that everybody's now is trying to make it seem like. Now all of a sudden everybody's a Nikki Bella fan. Uh, y'all talk about Jade Cargill like she need to fight real challengers like Rhea. I could have sworn y'all was tired of seeing Rhea. I could have sworn y'all was tired of seeing Rhea getting all these opportunities. Shut the fuck up. All this IWC shit, y'all just so fucking ridiculous. Y'all hypocrites. Oh my, like, y'all hypocrites. Y'all fucking everything in the book. Y'all just that's what y'all are, and y'all bite y'all words every single day. It's only a few real niggas in this game, honestly, that keep it real and don't beat around the bush for anything, for real, for real. Shout out to Chisel the Adonis. There's a lot of people that keep the shit real all the way around and shit. But that's enough of my rant. KB the Mark, how you feel about this last match?
Hey, look. So John Cena, John Cena's WrestleMania 21 win is arguably my favorite Cena match. I put it up there with this. Or I'm sorry, I put it up there with that. This match was fantastic. I never understood why people were so upset. you got to experience Super Cena one last time. Honestly, how long had it been since we seen Super Cena? Because the heel Cena isn't Super Cena.
I
Super
would say his
Super Cena was a
last.
different beast.
I would say his last full time run. And that was a
What was
long
that?
time ago. Honestly,
What was that, like 13 years ago?
that was a long time ago. Honestly, like his last Super Cena run. Maybe when he won the United States title. What was that? 2016.
Yeah, where he introduced Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn.
Well, nah. I'll say before that. It's been a while though. That's the point. It's been a while.
Look, y'all got to experience Super Cena, and he hit all the hits. You know what? There is never and there will never be another wrestler who can make 5 moves the best 5 moves of the match. And they structured this match perfectly. The 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 dominant, overbearing Gunther. How's John Cena going to beat him? Gunther dominates him the entire match. John Cena hits his moves. Kick out. He shows resiliency. It's like when you, I don't even know how to explain it. It was everything that I wanted it to be. And I'm not the biggest Cena fan. The match was everything that I wanted it to be. I wanted to feel like John Cena could pull it off one last time. And I got that. Every time, as you mentioned, when he put him in the sleeper and he tried to get out. And he when he hit the final AA, they had me. I was sitting there thinking Cena does it again. And honestly, it even if Gunther lost, it would have made him better. He would have went deranged. Because he'll never be able to get his hands on him again. So think that this would have been a mega villain. I had a chance to retire John Cena and couldn't do it. And he swore he's never wrestling again. Can you imagine Gunther just going on a 3-year chase of trying to get Cena to come out of retirement?
Hmm.
You might have to book him undefeated for 3 years, so John Cena feels like he has a purpose of coming back. Can you imagine an enraged Gunther for 3 years straight? He destroys everything in his path. Every week he's talking about John Cena, sounding like a what is it? Sounding like a jilted lover.
Right. Yeah.
That sounds dope. And even John Cena losing. I get it. I didn't like the tap out. I would have preferred he passed out. But that's also again, Cena went out. This is what the IWC needs to realize. Cena went out the way he wanted to go out. That's it. And if it's tapping to Gunther, that's fine. I, I just I just don't know what else they want. Why would Cena win on his way out? The goal when we talked about this, the goal of every wrestler who gets in the business should be to leave the business better than how they found it. Cena is telling you with the names that he picked and his final opponent, this is the future. This is who's going to be running this from here on out. And I need people to think about it. He could have think about the last time it's now tournament, right? How easily it could have been to load this tournament up full of names. Roman Reigns, of course, Gunther. Just names from John Cena's past. CM Punk. You know what I'm saying? It could have been that type of tournament. But look at the field that he picked. He lets you know what the future is. And he went out on his terms. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. I I loved everything about it. From him coming out for the last time. The the anticipation. I set up after Gunther made his entrance, and I'm sitting there, and they didn't go straight to it. They let it sit. They let it get as tense as it could, and you hear the horns, and you see him come out, and he looks around, and he's just taking it in. It, it, it was cinema. Everything about it, from Gunther's entrance to Cena taking it in, to Stu getting on the camera, to Stu being on camera, John Cena borderline in tears, to him telling Stu, "Let's go to work one last time." It was cinema. This was spectacular. I I can't talk about it enough. Everything about it. This might be Cena's best match of the year. Out of this entire run, this might be his best match of the year. Why not give it to Gunther? Who else has been more dominant over the past year and a half? They're saying LA Knight. Yeah, it could have been LA Knight. But does LA Knight need it? Michael Cole said it as Gunther was leaving. He's retired Goldberg. He's retired John Cena. He's at the making of a career killer, a legend killer. I heard Brock Lesnar's retiring next year. Give it to Gunther. He's Gunther might be death at a legend. If Gunther looks at a legend, you might as well just say it's done. Let him retire Brock. If Jericho come over, let him retire Jericho. We got a resident killer. We have a resident legend killer. Low key, when is Orton retiring? That's your 2027 WrestleMania main event. Gunther kills the legend killer, Randy Orton. Michael Cole didn't say that for no reason, Salamander. This was spectacular. This was cinema. I don't know what else to say. It was otherworldly. And I want to thank you, Mr. Cena, for giving us memories for 20 years. But the IWC just needs to learn to be okay with stuff. Just say, that's not how I would have booked it. And that's okay. That's not how I would have done it. But that's okay. WWE has earned the right to let it play out. And we're gonna let it play out. That's it.
Overall for the show, what do you give Saturday night main event?
10 out of 10.
A 10 out of 10? That's way
Cena,
higher than I expected.
Cena, the main event, everything that entitles the main event. And Leon Slater, Javon Evans versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. And even Bailey and Sol Ruka. Like, it wasn't bad. Like, there wasn't there was only one thing that was audibly bad, and I'm glad they
Mhm.
went with it first. They got it out the way. Because it really could have killed the show if they had put that match like third.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But shit, You had a way higher rating than I expected. Like I I'm giving it a 7.5.
Why?
And the only reason is because that first match kind of for me personally, it kind of killed the momentum for myself. If that first match, because it was such a marquee matchup and a powerful matchup, that if we honestly got a clear winner without no interference, it would have made it a perfect show. But
So,
just the fact that that first match ended with a DQ, it kept like I kind of knew we was like, all right, we about to be in for some bullshit. But I'm glad we wasn't. But still, that first matchup kind of killed the momentum. That's why I'm stuck at a 7.5.
well, I maintain my 10. My only issue, and this is more of a deeper, complex issue, more so within myself. But my only issue is it makes sense if you have two champions of other promotions. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Come in and you do a run in finish like that for a disqualification because you don't want either champion to take the pinfall. That makes sense, right?
Right.
But it's your own promotion within your own company. I'm pretty sure we all would have been okay with Obafemi taking a pinfall loss. It's okay. It's Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the C2, and this is the only AEW I'm going to mention. In the C2, they just did Claudio Castagnoli, which is who is the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion, and Konosuke Takeshita, who is the IWGP World Champion. It makes sense why that match would go to a time limit draw. You don't want neither guy to take a pinfall, so you just go to a draw. They're two different companies, though. This is WWE NXT Champion Obafemi versus the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, right? Last time I checked, WWE is within that NXT umbrella. I'm sorry, NXT is within that WWE umbrella, ain't it? It's owned by WWE,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So why? What is the purpose of doing a DQ finish? If Obafemi loses, it doesn't do anything. It's Cody Rhodes, and if Obafemi wins, oh, that's a big upset. He just called Cody Rhodes on a bad day, or Cody Rhodes loses thanks to Drew McIntyre interference. And he just caught. And he wouldn't have did that if Drew didn't interfere. There was really no lose lose. You know, that's
Yeah.
my only problem, and that's a deeper problem within myself. But even with that, no, 10 out of 10 show. Just the Cena spectacle alone puts it at like a 98.
Mm. Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm still staying firm on my 7.5, and I'm still shocked that you rated so high.
John
But
Cena.
shit. But I mean,
You, how
oof.
are you? How are you a bigger Cena fan than me?
I
But
mean,
I
if
was
he,
I was enthralled with just everything from when the crowd was sitting there anticipating it. The Cena, Cena, Cena to the horns, to him coming out and him taking it all in, to him grabbing the camera. You didn't feel that?
yeah, of course. If it was ranking individual matches, yes. But just overall as overall as a show, that first matchup killed the momentum of what going into the show. It killed it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair because I for one have been in your position where one match does ruin it. So I
Hmm.
understand.
But man, it was a long awaited episode for us. It's been over a year since we came back together, but we here to stay. So, you guys, if you like what you see and you would like to see more, go ahead and subscribe to us, hit them like buttons. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter. Everything will be in the description below. But, until then, see you on the next one.
I started with nothing and came out a king. I've been the one that's been ballin' for rings. It's been me and my team and we chasing the green. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free.